So today we're going to be working with slope and intercept form. So slope, intercept form, y equals mx plus b. That's what we want to start with. I'm sure you've all seen that before. Y equals mx plus b for the equation of a line, a straight linear line. Well, we're also going to be talking about point slope form. Now, point slope form is y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. And we're going to use that in several different situations to eventually manipulate information back into y equals mx plus b. Now, y1 is the y coordinate from your point. X1 is the x coordinate from your point. So when you are working with this, the x and the y are just that, a variable, whereas the x sub 1 and the y sub 1, those are your values for your point. All right, so let's start with this side. Given a situation where you're given this point, negative 1, 3, that it goes through this point, the line you're trying to get the equation of, and the slope is 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my point slope form, and I'm going to say, I'm going to fill in the values. So this is x1, y1, and slope. So let me first align the board because it's a little bit off. Shouldn't be, but because I did this yesterday, but oh well. And now we can continue. So y minus, remember you're putting the y value in, 3 equals slope 2 times x minus negative 1. Next thing I'm going to do is I always try to get rid of these double signs just to make it a little simpler for me to do my work. Now I'm going to distribute the 2. Y minus 3 equals 2x plus 2. And then I only have to do one more step. Get rid of this 3 by adding 3 to both sides. Y equals 2x plus 5. There is my equation of the line that goes through this point and has that slope. That's really all you have to do to use point slope form to get slope intercept form. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this side and do the same kind of thing. But this time we have 2 points that the line goes through, but we're not told slope. Well, what do you think you gotta do? You gotta find slope. So the first thing is to find slope like we did yesterday. So 5 minus negative 1 over 2 minus negative 2. Now don't fall into the trap of 2 minus negative 2 is 0 because it's not. We know that because of the double sign. So this is 5 plus 1 or 6 over 2 plus 2, 4. Reduce that to 3 halves. Now we're going to pick either point. It makes no difference which of these 2 points you pick, just pick one. Now most people will pick the one with the fewer number of negatives. I don't know why it's necessary, but it's not. So I'm going to pick this one. Y minus 5 equals 3 halves times x minus 2. Distribute the 3 halves. Y minus 5 equals 3 halves x. Now the 2 over 1 times this 3 over 2, the 2's cancel, negative 3. The only thing I have left to do here is to add 5 to both sides, and I get y equals 3 halves x plus 2, and there's the equation of that line. At this time, I would like you to try on page 98, 31, 45, and 49. I would like you to pause and do those, and when you're done, unpause and watch me do them out. Thank you. Welcome back. So now we're going to do out these problems that you've just spent time on. And the first problem gives me a point and a slope, and I have to find the equation of that line. Y minus 4 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 6. I distribute the negative 2/3, y minus 4 equals negative 2/3 x. Now a negative times a negative is a positive. You can go ahead and put this over 1 and say 6 times 2 is 12 divided by 3 is 4. Or you could have reduced the 3 and the 6, 1 and 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Either way, it comes out the same. And then you're going to get rid of this 4 by adding 4 to both sides because we want y by itself. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8. And there's my equation of that line. Our next problem we're going to do is 2 points. So I'm going to have to find the equation of the line first, the slope of the line, excuse me. So 3 minus negative 5 over negative 2 minus 2. So plus positive gives me 8 over negative 2, negative 2, negative 4, negative 2 when I reduce. Now that I've done that, I'm going to say y. Now it doesn't matter which one I pick. So how about I pick the second point this time? That's the one I'm going to plug in for y1 and x1. Minus negative 5, that's the same as plus 5, equals, let's see, slope of negative 2 times x minus 2. I can go ahead and distribute here. I'm going to distribute a negative 2, y plus 5 equals negative 2x plus 4. And we'll finish it off by subtracting 5 from both sides. Y equals negative 2x minus 1. So there's my equation of my line. So once again here, number 49, we need to start by finding slope. Now, negative 9 minus negative 9 over 6 minus negative 4. Well, what is negative 9 minus negative 9? 0 over 6 minus negative 4 is 10. That's equal to 0. Anytime you have 0 on the top or 0 on the bottom, you're referring to either a horizontal or a vertical line. Now, specifically, if 0 is on the top, the slope is 0, so it is a horizontal line. What never changes in a horizontal line? Well, the x changes a lot, but the y doesn't change. So the y value, y equals whatever the y equals, negative 9. If we had one where x was the same, but y was different, then it will be a vertical line, because you'd have 0 on the bottom. And remember from yesterday, that represents a vertical line when you have undefined slope. So x equals whatever the x coordinate is, if they're the same in both the points, but the y's are different. All right, so horizontal lines, y equals a number. Vertical lines, x equals a number. Next topic is working with parallel and perpendicular lines. Finding the equation of the line that passes through a given point and is parallel to the given line. That's what we're going to start with here. Well, the first thing you should know is parallel lines have the same slope. So if you have two lines that are parallel, they're going to have the same slant or the same slope. So if we're working with this situation, we're given a point and an equation of the line that's parallel to the line we're trying to find. First thing you notice is I can find the slope of the line I'm given. This is the equation of the line I'm given. Slope is 2. So since I already know the slope, Now I can use this slope and this point and plug them into our point slope form. Y minus y1, 5, equals slope 2 times x minus my x1, 2. Again, all I have to do is simplify this, and I have my equation of the line that's parallel to this through that point. I'm going to add 5. Y equals 2x plus 1. So if I were to draw these two lines out, we would find that they are parallel. Now, the next thing to talk about is perpendicular lines. Find the equation of a line that passes through the given point and is perpendicular to the given line. Well, there's something special about perpendicular lines. They have negative reciprocal slopes. A lot of you may not be sure what I mean by negative reciprocal slopes. So let's work with that a little bit. Oh, by the way, symbol for parallel is two lines like that. Symbol for perpendicular is an upside down capital T. 90-degree angles, okay? If you had a given slope and you wanted to find the perpendicular slope to it, say I have 2/3 as my slope. Negative meaning opposite sign, reciprocal. Opposite sign of this would be negative, reciprocal. Flip over the fraction. That's one example of a slope and its perpendicular slope. If I had, say, negative 1/4 as my original slope, the opposite sign would be positive, and the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1, or just 4. And I could continue, I could do another one like, how about 7, or negative 7. If I have negative 7 as my slope, opposite sign is positive, and the reciprocal of 7 is 7 over, it's originally 7/1, if you want to write it that way. 1/7 would be the reciprocal slope. So knowing that, let's take a look at this. First thing I need to know is the original slope of the equation given, negative 4/3. Second thing I need to know is I need to know what the perpendicular slope is. The opposite sign, reciprocal, positive 3/4. Now that I have this, I'm going to use this one with this to find the equation. Now, I don't like that color mixed with the other one, so let's change that. It's much nicer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. This is separate, that's not part of this problem. Y minus -1 equals 3/4 times x minus 4. I can go ahead and distribute. This is y plus 1, double negative, 3/4 x, and 3/4 times -4, the 4 is canceled, -3. I can then finish it off by subtracting 1 from both sides. Y equals 3/4 x minus 4. This is the equation of the line that's perpendicular to this and goes through that point. I hope that was clear for you. Let's go on to the next type of problem, and that's solving systems of equations by graphing. Now, I'm assuming that most of you already know how to graph an equation when it's given to you in slope-intercept form. It's fairly easy, and we'll go through the process here. Normally I'd ask you, how do you do this? And somebody would tell me, but I'll have to just tell you. First, you're going to use your y-intercept, your y-intercept, that's what I meant to say, which is -1. So -1 on the y-axis, up there, it's down 1 right there. My slope here is -1 from this. So if slope is -1, we can make that a fraction by putting it over 1. So every time I go down 1, I go to the right 1, because there's only one negative sign here. You have to pick which one it's on. It doesn't matter, but you have to pick, because I could have gone up 1 and back 1, and that would be having the negative on the bottom. And I can just repeat that, down 1, right 1, over and over again, try to hit the right spot. And I could do it here as well. And now I can draw my line. And there's the line drawn here. Looks like it's a tiny bit off. That's a little better. All right, so there's my first line. But a system of equations has at least 2 in it, in the system. So we have to graph both of them, or all of them, and see where they intersect. And that is the solution to the system. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have a 5 for my y-intercept. That is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my slope is, in this one, is -3. So I can put that over 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. And I'm just going to repeat that until they cross. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, there's where they cross. I could have gone the reverse, up 3 and back 1, and I'd have had the same thing. Here's my line. I'll bring it right over and throw it right in there. You have to be very accurate with these so that you get an accurate answer. If you